Good morning, everybody. I'm going to start with a peace be with you. Thank you. We need that today. So most of you would have been tucked up in bed last night. Not all of you, but most of you hopefully by about 7:30, and you went to bed thinking that it was your first day back at school today, and then things changed, and it's quite incredible how quickly things are changing at the moment. I don't think ever before we've had a time where things have changed so quickly. So there are a few of you coming to school today who will be here listening to this, but most of you are going to be at home today. And I wanted to just tell you why that's happened, because mums and dads I'm sure would have let you know, but it's just such a difficult time. So last week I was watching the news. I had a lovely Christmas, by the way. I know lots of mums and dads have asked me, thank you. And I was watching the news thinking, oh please let us be going back to school. And they said, yes, we're going to be going back to school. So I said, yes, silent cheer, we're going back to school. And then I was watching the news over the weekend and thinking, oh, it's looking a bit tricky. Things were changing quickly again. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, Boris, the Prime Minister, and all of his advisors, they had a look at things and they just thought, do you know what, we can't do this because this virus is getting even more tricky and our hospitals are full, which is a little bit tricky. So they decided, and it was quite last minute for us because we thought we were all coming back, didn't we? But they decided that no, we can't come back to school at the moment. Schools need to be closed for most children. And we're going to spend a little bit of time just working from home like we did before. And we've got lots of exciting things planned, don't worry. But I do know that people are going to be a little bit stressed, particularly the mums and dads. Not you guys, I know you'll be fine. But the mums and dads will be a little bit stressed for a few days because something big's happened. And when something big happens, they get a bit stressed, they have to organise stuff. But it will be okay. And it's only going to be for a few more weeks. There's going to be a few more weeks and then things will get better. And I wanted to read you a story that I read you during the lockdown about things getting better. When I read this story, I read it with lots of hope in my heart, and I had no idea that a vaccine was going to become available. But it is available and lots of people are already having it. I know some people that have already had the vaccine, which I'm really excited about. And this story is about some lines. Now, you might remember this because you really liked this story. And Jensen, I remember the pictures that you drew. And I also got a card from year 3 that's just on my wall up here about this story. So I would like you to have a listen and enjoy this story with me. So the green line was a happy line. She lived with her mum and her dad and her sister and her brother. Her grandmother lived with them too. She went to school. There she is, look, with all her friends. And on the weekends, her family went to the town square. So they all went out together. Then one day, some of the orange lines in town became a bit crooked, and then it also started to happen to the purple lines. Oh dear. The green family was worried that they might become crooked as well. I can see that. Fortunately, most of the lines who became crooked were able to straighten out again. Unfortunately, many of the older lines became so crooked that they fell apart. The lines weren't sure what to do. In order to protect the older lines from becoming crooked, they decided to stop meeting altogether. The children were no longer able to go to school. Sounds familiar. And the town square was empty. The green line was worried. Would their lives ever be the same again? The lines all worked together from a distance to follow the rules, and things improved. That's where it gets good. Some lines worked really hard to make a dot that could help the lines be straight. Some of the little lines were able to go back to school. Green Line couldn't go yet as she lived with her grandmother. The grown-up lines kept working together and following the rules, and the lines worked hard to make the dots that could keep the lines straight, and they kept working hard at that too. Even more of the lines were able to go back to school. The lines kept working together and following the rules. The lines working to make the dots that could help keep the lines straight kept working hard too. All of the little lines were able to play together again. Hooray! That's what we're looking for, isn't it? And the very clever grown-up lines managed to make a dot to keep all of the lines straight. The dots started to help the families, and the Green Line was very happy again. And eventually all of the lines were able to get back to school. And I like this picture here because that is a picture of all of us with the lines, with the dots. So lots of people are going to get the immunisation, the vaccine, and then things are going to improve. So when I read the story before, it was filled with hope, and now it's filled with the knowledge that that is going to happen. So we are going to be okay. Now I know that it's going to be tricky, so I'm sending you a big heart, and there'll be more information to follow. And I'm going to end on a prayer, but I'm also going to add on after this assembly a great song which I want you to have a little dance to, which reminds us about keeping our distance from people, because 2 meters is massive. It's massive. I bought some rulers to show the teachers yesterday, which sounds a bit silly because you think teachers would know what 2 meters is, but it's really big. So we really have to keep our distance from people at the moment. So when people are standing, it needs to be like double my arms. So really distanced. So when you're out in Alice Holt Forest doing your walk, your daily exercise, and you see people that you know, you've still got to stay really away from them, guys. It's so important, and it's not for long. So let's finish with a prayer together. So put your hands together and close your eyes if you want to. Dear God, please keep helping us to get through this tricky time. Help us to understand each other, help us to be kind to one another, and help us to love each other, as that will help us get through. In your name, amen. Enjoy the song. See you soon.
There's a mean little germ that makes people ill. You know it's called coronavirus and it never sits still. Flies out of our mouths when we cough or we sneeze. And if someone's nearby, you can reach them with ease. Now while it's around, then hear what I say. Strange, but that's what we should do. And if you don't know how long that is, I'll give you a clue.